So, going to start our today's lecture. In the previous lecture, we had discussed about what is digital technology, what are different opportunities that this digital technology is. Let's continue with that. So, here in today's lecture, we will see different components of digital environment. In the previous lecture, we had discussed what is digital technologies, what are different opportunities that they are providing us, and how we can involve ourselves as a IT professional in this digital environment. So, in today's lecture, we will learn about different components of digital environment, like what are different types of hardware solutions we can use, what are different types of software solutions we can use, then what are the available networks, and how we can access the advanced digital solutions. So, these will be the topic of discussion for today. So, let's get started with the types of hardware. So what is a hardware? Before starting with the types of hardware, if you have the basic understanding of computers, so can you define what is hardware and software in the chat box? If not, then I will explain it to you. But before, if you have any idea, then let me know. In computer sciences, we have two terms, a hardware and a software. If we take the most simple definition, anything we can touch and feel is called hardware. Yes, we got an answer. Yes, hardware is a physical component that we can touch and feel, and software is something that are some instructions that we give to the computer to perform specific operation. We know that software is an application, but in simple words, they are nothing but just the instruction we want the computer to perform. Okay, and hardware is the physical part of the computer that we can touch and feel, and on which we can operate the software. Without an hardware, we cannot operate a software, and without the software, we cannot operate an hardware. So that was the basic definition for hardware and software. Now, moving towards the types of hardware. The first one is the smartphones. So this is the most portable devices that combines a phone with an internet connection. So the smartphones are the types of devices where we connect the portable phone with the internet connected computer. You might notice that on previous mobiles we cannot use internet, we cannot capture a high resolution image, or we cannot use any social media application on that. But after the advancement of digital technologies, we got smartphones where we can connect phone with internet connection. We can download multiple applications, we can run them, we can take high resolution images. There are multiple features of smartphones. So we can say that smartphones are the type of hardware that are very portable. Portable, we can place it anywhere. They are very small in size. There are multiple benefits. So why they are used? They are used for mainly for communication. We can access our cloud services from them. We can run different mobile applications on them. Then, if uh, if we move towards the next one, we have tablets that are larger than smartphones. So the difference between a tablet and smartphone is just the size of the tablet. It offers this similar functionality, and it also focus on portability, means they are also portable. We can place it anywhere. They can fit into small sizes. They are very easy to use. We can perform different kinds of tasks, like we can we can find that media consumption, we can consume that. If we want to read something, then we can use them. They are very light, productive softwares. So we can use the working mechanism of the tablets are same, just the size is different. They are just a bit larger than it. Then after that, we have wearables. You might notice we have smart watches where we can that are also enabled, where we can also enable to do phone calls, access the internets, We have different smart watches out there. Then we have fitness trackers that can monitor your health metrics if you want to do some workout for a day, how much water you have taken for the, how much you want to check the, if you want to check your calories counter, you can also do that with the fitness tracker. So it also displays your notification that you exceed that limit. It offers different features that you can also integrate with the mobile phones. So these are three different types of hardware. Then after that, we have desktop based devices. After the portable hardware, the second one is our desktop based devices. First of all, we have personal computers, just like laptops, that allows us to do wide range of tasks. From we can do the word processing, we can make our assignments there, we can do multiple works. So it provides you a common office environment. Then we have workstations that are much higher than the personal computers. So if you want to perform different tasks, if, for example, if you are working as a software developer, you might need that workstations. They are very powerful. They provide more storage, more faster speed than personal computers. They have the capability of doing multiple tasks at one time. You can connect multiple screens with that one processor. So it can be used for graphic designing. It can be used for video editing. Mainly it is used for software development. So it is more powerful. It is more powerful processor that can do the calculations and processing within the second. Okay. And it also have some greater memory capacity. Then after that, we have storage devices. Now, if we go with the basic definition, the devices that are used to store the data is known as storage devices. We know that basic definition, just like if in the real world we use different, you can just like libraries used to store multiple books of different types. Similarly, the storage devices are used to store multiple data for a long time. Now, in the storage devices, we have two types of storage. The first one is the internal storage, and the second one is the external storage. Internal storage is something that is embedded in your or integrated in your system, just like your solid state drives like SSD or hard drives that are used to store the data for a longer period of time. They can be used to store your operating system, your application of data, your whatever, your personal data, they can be used to store. Then we have another type of storage, that is the external storage. That is a removable storage that can be used to store data, but not, it is not embedded in the computer. We can plug in that external storage to any devices. We can remove it from one and plug in to the other one. So we have different USB drives, external SDD or external SDDS. So we have different. Why they are used? They can be used to store additional data that you don't want to keep in your personal computers. Or if you want to back up your data, we use that external storage. Then the third one, network attached storage. We have a third kind of hardware. This is another type of storage that is dedicated to any storage devices. We can connect this device with any network. Then it can allows multiple user and devices to store and access the data center. For example, there is a you can if we take a real life example, you can assume it as a box which is connected with 3 or 5 people. 5 people at the same time can store the data in that container. So that you can assemble this network attached storage with that. Then we have backup method. What is the meaning of backup? Means copying your data at another place. Creating a copy of your data at another place is known as backup. Why we need this backup? Just in the case of any hardware failure or any other incident, we can retrieve our data. So in backup, we have three types of backup. We have local backups, we have cloud backups, we have hybrid backups. In local backup, we just copy the data on physical media like external hard drives or NAS. Just like you can copy that on your USB devices, external hard drives. Then we have cloud backup. So the most common example of cloud backup is Google Drive. Whenever, or another example can be taken as Photos, that is launched by Google too, where you can upload your videos and images to store them on cloud. In Google Drive, you can upload your files to store your data for a longer period of time. So that is the cloud backup. Then after that, we have a hybrid backup. Hybrid backup. Now, what is the difference between the local backup and cloud backup? In local backup, the copy of that data will be created within your storage in that device or in the external storage device. But in the cloud backup, the internet service can be used to store the data on cloud. The data will not be stored on your local storage. Then we have hybrid backups. It means that the data can also be, one copy will be on local and one copy will be on the cloud storage, just to provide the data protection. After that, we have servers. Now we have different kind of server. Before understanding about what are servers, we will go through different types of servers. We will go through what are servers. So, do you have any idea about servers? No problem. So, server is also a computer program or a device that provides services to other computer programs, just known as client. For example, you search something on Google. So, you are searching as a client. The server that is serving you the answer is known as the server. Okay. The application or the program that is delivering you the services will known as a server. Okay. Now we have different types of servers. We have application servers, we have file servers, we have database servers. In application servers, they will manage and run the software application. Just like your web hosting, just like your emails, means to receive email, to send email, so that can be sent do by the application servers. Or we have different enterprise softwares. Then after that, we have file servers. Now, the basic purpose of this file server can be to store and manage the file on the networks. It can also allows the user to share and access the documents, images, or other data using the internet. Then we have database servers. Means the server that hosts and manages the databases. We have learned about databases bases in the course of web development. So you must have knowledge about that. So it will enables you to store the data, you can retrieve your data, you can manipulate your data across the network. Then that was all about the hardware. We learned about different types of hardware. We had learned about different types of storage devices. Now, the third point is the network devices. Means, what is a network? If we combine 3 or 4 computers together and they can communicate with each other, so they are forming a small network. So to connect all of that computers together to form a network, we need some different types of network devices. So we have switches, we have routers, we have hubs. Now, the functionality of switches is that it will connect the devices within a local area. Now we have different types of networks: LAN, MAN, WAN. LAN stands for local area network. For example, you connect multiple computers in your computer lab or within your school, your institute, or the company. That will be your LAN. Okay. The computers that are connected with each other in the computer lab or within the organization or within a small company or home office, that is known as LAN. And switches are mainly used to connect devices within the local area network. You can filter the data you want to forward. You can put the permission access authority on that. According to your need, you can use their switches. Then we have routers. Now, the devices, now switches are used to connect different computers. Now we need routers to provide the data packet or internet accessibility between different network. Like, for example, such as a network between the home network and the internet. Okay. Just like there can be internet set up in your homes just to access the internet. Then after that, we have hubs. Now, what the hub will do, it will connect multiple devices within the net. Okay. Now you have created your small LAN or WAN. Then this will be responsible to connect the devices within the network. So if you have any questions till now, let me know. So after that, that was about hubs. We have now different types of software. We have office-based softwares, we have system softwares, we have application softwares. So basically, what is a software? Software is an application program, or you can say instruction. So we have two types of softwares. The first one is the system software, and the second one is the application software. The system software is the type of the software that is basically designed for the system, just like your operating systems, that is used to perform the operations for the system, like you can say the drivers that are installed in your system, just like the control panels. So these are the software that are designed for the system. But the softwares that are designed for the customer use is known as application software. Just like MS Office, just like any video editing software that you can be used. So that is the application software. The third one is the office-based software. That can be used for office work. Just like we have word processing softwares. So here can be the Google Word, here can be the Microsoft Word, Google Doc, or then we have spreadsheets. For using that purpose, we use different spreadsheet softwares. And then after that, we have Google Slides to create different slides, visual presentation for meetings, lectures. So these are different office-based software that is mostly used. Then after that, we have bespoke software. For managing the customer relationships, we have different software, just like Salesforce. We have HubSpot to design and manage the company's interaction. Okay. So can you tell me the difference between the application software and the system software? So application softwares are designed for the customers, whereas system softwares are designed for the system. Then we have bespoke softwares. So I've told you about enterprise software that are used for the organization, means the software that can be used for accounting, means the software that are used by the HR department. Okay. After that, now moving towards the next topic, we have different types of networks. Now, what is a network? I have told you. In networks, we use different types of topologies. I told you to connect two devices with each other. We need different kinds of connections. Like if we connect multiple computers with each other, they forms a network. Now, when a network is formed, then they have to use some kind of connectivity, like different topologies, how the devices are going to connect with each other. Topologies enables our devices to communicate with each other. Now, first type of topology, we have the bus topology. Now, in bus topology, all the systems are connected with each other through a single cable. That is known as bus. So how it works? Now, you can assume that all the computers are connected with each other in a line. Suppose if it is a computer 1, if it is a computer 2, and we draw a new computer here. Like, So they are connected with one cable. Right. So, and this is the one end. And we can assume that this is the second. So how the data is transmitted? For example, they got a mail. Three computers are connected with each other. They don't know whose uh, mail belong to which computer. So that mail will travel to this. This is your no. It will go and go to this no. If it is this, if it is matches, then it will stay there. And if that data message is not matched with anyone, it will move back to the end. So that is the working of the bus topology. Now we have different advantage of bus topology. It is very simple to implement and extend. We can add more and more computers in this line. And it is very cost effective because we need less cable to connect all the computers in a line. But the disadvantage is only limited computer can attach to a bus. If you try to connect more computer, then it will affect the speed. Then after that, now what happens? If this cable is damaged, let's suppose we have connected all the computers with a single cable, but what if the cable is damaged? And if the cable is damaged, all of three computers will eventually be affected. So that is the disadvantage of this. Now, for the sake of an example, older versions of Ethernet uses this kind of topology to share their network. We have star topology. Means all the devices are connected to a central hub or switch like this. Let me draw it for you. This is computer 1. This is computer 2. This is computer 3. And this is a central hub. And all the computers are connected with it like this. Now, whenever the message is received, it will go to this hub and it will send a token to each and every device, whether this message belongs to you or you. And if that address matches with any system, it will stay there. And if not, it will come back to that central hub here. Now, what is the advantage? It is very easy to identify. And if there is any failure in the single cable, it will not affect the other system. So let's suppose if the failure is here in this computer or this cable, we can simply remove it. It will not disturb the functionality of rest of the two computers. Okay. But the disadvantage is that if this central hub fails, then it will affect the functionality of the other systems. Now, for the sake of examples, now most of the homes and small office use star topology, means where multiple computers are connected with a single router or a switch to access the network. After that, we have mesh topologies. Now, in mesh topologies, each device is connected with one another, forming a mesh like this. We have a computer like this. It will connect to another computer. Then there will be another cable. So in the form of a mesh, just like this. So it will be a kind of some messy. You will not understand all the cables. One wire is going somewhere, one wire is going somewhere. So in this way, they are connected with each other. So how it works? The data will travel different paths. Now, what is the advantage? So if there is multiple connections, we can say that if one or more connection fail, then there can be a backup plan. But disadvantage is very complex. You will not understand this structure. You need multiple cables, large number of ports are required to connect. Okay, so that is the disadvantage of using the mesh topology. Then example can be here that different cities or large campus where the wireless access point can be used to provide the connectivity. Then after that, we have tree topology. Just like a tree, we can say that here is one computer. Assume it's the second one. There is the second one. There is the one. And this is another. So just like the branches of the tree, they are connected like this. Means all the systems are connected like this. So how it works, the data will travel from up from here to down like in hierarchy. The data will say this. If the data belongs to this, it will stay here. If the data belongs to this, it will stay here. If the data belongs to this, it will stay here and so on. Okay. So that is the working mechanism of the tree topology. Then advantage can be, it can be scalable. You can easily expand them. You can easily manage them. Okay. Because it is very hierarchical in nature. You can easily manage that. Then the disadvantage is that if the center point of failure means if there is any failure in the main backbone, then the working will goes down. Then we have hybrid topologies. Now in hybrid topology, it combines two different topologies. For example, it can be a combination of star topology, it can be a combination of mesh topology, or it can combine ring topology with the other. So we haven't learned the ring topology now, but in the next slide we will see about it. So a mesh topology can combine the star topology and a bus topology together. So it will form a hybrid topology. Now how it will work? It will send the network segments into different topology. Means it will see where most of the data is needed, how it is needed, and it will work according to that. Why we should use that? It is very flexible in nature because it is made for specific requirement. Means according to the requirement, it will behave. Then the disadvantage is it will be very expensive where it is used different large organization. For example, in multiple departments or branches have that topology to integrate different types of networks with each other. Then we have network connection method. Means how we can connect our computers with the network. Now we have wired connection, we have wireless connections, and we have VPNs. That is virtual private networks. The wired connection can be used to connect devices in the network. It will offer you a high speed internet. Okay. But in the wireless connection, there will be Wi-Fi's. There can be devices without cables. You can provide portability, installation you require. It can be typically at slower speed, and there can be security risk. Your data can be hacked anytime. Then we have VPNs, means virtual private networks. Means what the VPN will do, it will mask your IP address so that the local organizations or the public services cannot see your IP address. So it will mask your information. No one can monitor what you are doing, how you are doing, and from where you are doing. So it will enable a secure communication between devices over the internet. So firstly, we have seen different topologies. Then we see different types of network connections. Now, hope so everything is clear till now. Now, the last thing that we have to discuss here is the accessing advanced digital solutions. Means how we can access these digital solutions. So we have CADs, we have CAM. We have two types of solutions, CAD and CAM. CAD stands for computer aided design. Now, it will involve the computer systems that are involved to assist in creation. The you can say that the types of computers that are used by the engineers, architects, to designers, or designers to create the visuals or the model of the product. They want to see the structure of the product, the part before something to physically produce. So you can say that the devices that are used to create models, designs are known as CAD, computer aided design. Now we have the different key features of CADs. We have 3D modelings. Means it will allow what the 3D modeling will use do it will allow you to create 3D softwares for creations, like different. It can be used to show different routes. You can view them from a different angle. Just to then it you can also zoom in that. You can also examine different interact details of that software. Then after that, we have why it we use that. It provides us precision and accuracy. Means if we want to see the measurement of something, it will provide us the exact measurement we want. If we want to check the that if some, you can say, design meets the specific standard or not, so it will provide us the accuracy if we build designs or models through this. Then simulations. Means simulation is an environment that is similar to the real world, but that is not real. But it will give you a real life experience. So that is the simulation. So that they can be used to design the simulations. Like it can simulate how, for example, you want to check how a human being can work under you can say 60-degree temperature, 80-degree. What happened if the temperature goes up to 50-degree, 48 degrees Celsius? How the things are going to work? So you can create a artificial environment or simulation environment just to see that how the different objects will perform under various conditions. It can be the stress, it can be temperature, or any other, just to modify what issues can be faced in future and how to deal with that issue. Now we have different kinds of softwares that can be used for CAD, like Auto CAD can be used. We have SolidWorks. SolidWorks is very popular in mechanical engineering. Why? Because it will help you to provide you complex 3D models. Then we have Revit. It can be used to construct and build industries for building information model. After that, we have CAM, means computer aided manufacturing. It will involve using the softwares or computer control machineries. They can be used to automate the manufacturing process. Means the things will done automatically itself. Now we have different features that are provided by this, like automated production. Means it will provide you the tools that can produce the things like itself. It can be used for automatic production tasks like cutting. It can be used for drilling something. It can be used for miling something or turning something automatically without the help of any manual worker. Then precision machining means it will ensure that the manufactured parts are produced with high precision. There is no ambiguity or need of error or place of error in that. Then they are very efficient, means they can reduce the time and labor. Just you can see that in different manufacturing factories, things are done by itself. There is no manual labor to do for mixing something, for grinding something, for drilling something. Things are working by themselves through machines. So that is an example of CAM. They are very efficient because it will reduce the amount of labor you want to hire, and it will complete your tasks in minimum time. Now, if we take some examples for what kind of softwares can be used by CAM, so it can be Mastercam. It is the most commonly used for CNC machining, like for tool path generation, for machine control, they can be used. So we have Fusion 360, means it is a cloud-based tool. that can combine CAD, CAM, and CAE in one platform. So you can be use that for your small business or startups. So what is the benefit of using these? If we integrate that, it will reduce the errors. Means there will be no error in that. Then we have different benefits. Means it is very efficient and it will provide the solutions at a very high speed. And it can be used to create complex designs. Then after that, we have different applications where these CAD and CAMs are used, just like automotive, means just to let the machines to perform automatically different tasks. We use automotive, we use the CAM. Then in aerospace, just to get the extremely high precision, accurate modeling and machining, we use that. Then in the construction for building the design, then in medical devices, they are used. So these are different benefits or different industry areas where CAD or CAM used. If you have any questions, let me know.